Hi, my name is Travis Lindsay. I am here for the Center for Entrepreneurship at Cal State University Fullerton. And with me today is Dr. Sentha. She is from India. She knows us, specifically the Dean of the College of Business and Economics. And she has something really cool to share with us today. Dr. Sentha, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Travis. Thank you so much for having me as part of your podcast. And I'm really glad that we could put this together. I'm Sentha. As you said, I'm the lead catalyst and founder of Yuukke. This is a global business support marketplace for women by women. So we are actually trying to build a platform which will unlock opportunities, resources that women need, and which will empower them to shape their world and their dreams. So we are the first platform which is more safe and which is empowering and which is also trying to be a catalyst for a larger cause. And that's what we're building right now. This is an ecosystem, what we're building, which will bridge the gender gap in the startup ecosystem.
100%. And this is something that we totally get over here. I mean, building up an ecosystem is important for entrepreneurs because, I think a lot of people, probably not the people who are watching this, but a lot of people just in the general public think entrepreneurship is kind of this one person, one man, one woman against it all. And it's not. It really isn't. So what you're doing here is amazing. So can you explain what the goals are of this? Is it specifically focused on India? Is it worldwide? What are your grand ambitions for Yuukke?
Thanks, Travis. I think that's brilliant. Yuukke is a global business support marketplace. So saying that this is not confined to one single region. We started off from India, but the challenges what women entrepreneurs face across the globe is something very similar. Right? So right from networking, right from market access opportunities, women go through a lot of challenge. So Yuukke is all about seeing how we can bridge the gap, how we can solve the challenges. So it's a global business support marketplace. Any woman across the globe, she can connect, she can network, she can collaborate, she can build her own community as part of the marketplace, and she can also go sell her products, sell her services. So when I say services, any auditor, photographer, advocate, any consultant for this matter, she can go onto the marketplace and make herself available to the global audience. Right? And most important, when you see women entrepreneurship per se, women need to see other women succeed. We need more women role models who have already walked the path. So so we are trying to get mentorship, which is very important, which is very critical to the success of a women entrepreneur, and upskilling. So we are trying to bring in a lot of these structured courses, which will help women to scale up their businesses, take them to the next level in their business journey. So this is what Yuukke is trying to solve, Travis.
Yeah, that is awesome because some of the things that I'm seeing, I don't know if everybody else agrees with me or not, but with the way that the global economy is changing, I think that there's going to be just an increasing amount of entrepreneurship, especially. And I actually just did an interview with somebody who has his own firm, who is a professional. He's an IP attorney. So I could see a lot more of that happening, where it's the individual operators, maybe like 2 or 3 people who form a professional partnership or organization, whereas 20 years ago, that really couldn't happen as easily. So with the advent and adoption of more and more technology, this is just going to happen more and more. And so if you do want to get ahead, there's going to have to be some component of entrepreneurship to what you're doing. And do you see it the same way, or do you see it slightly different?
Yeah, see, what happens, Travis, like there is a lot of, our expertise is more on building products, right? So from the last 11, 12 years of the entrepreneurial journey, we have worked with a lot of these startups, MSMEs, SMEs, trying to build their product, and technology being an enabler for anything and everything. Our life, how it's changed, right? So being an enabler, we wanted to use technology and build something which is more meaningful, which is more purposeful. And that's exactly what Yuukke is trying to solve. Yuukke is trying to do. So we are actually in the process of doing that. We are not there yet, but our vision is to see how we can empower 1 million women entrepreneurs across the globe, where they can see how they can achieve their dreams. So we are trying to get Yuukke in all the languages possible, because language is one of the biggest barrier for women to go to the next level of their business. So we're trying to get Yuukke in every single language. Right now, we're available in 6 languages like French, Spanish, English, Tamil. So a lot of these regional languages in India. So trying to understand how women across the grassroots, can use the platform and see how they can support each other, empower each other, and uplift each other. So technology is definitely an enabler, Travis.
And your event, it's on September 1st and 2nd, correct?
Yes, yes.
And it's called Beyond Barriers. And I think that, and we'll talk about this more offline, but I think that we were talking about getting a couple of our CSUF women entrepreneurs on board as well. And I think we got a couple of great candidates for you to consider. So can you give people some kind of like a little bit of a preview about what they would see if they were to attend?
Travis, this is going to be a very fantastic event. People see this as a transformative event where it's going to be a 2-day international conference where you have your keynotes, fireside chats, panel discussions, but you will also get to have 2 town halls. It's more like an open house where you get to interact with business tycoons, women exemption leaders who've already been there. So audience can talk to them, understand their journey, their challenges, what they faced. Apart from that, this particular platform, we are showcasing 100 women entrepreneurs, like their businesses, their products. So from across India and abroad, women who have something exclusive, something unique to showcase. It is one platform where you can see them. And not only that, the crux of this particular event is there is going to be a cross-border opportunities. We are trying to see how we can unlock cross-border opportunities, because women are stuck in a cocoon. Okay, it need not be just across the countries, but even across the regions, across the states. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring together different states in India, where they can talk about if somebody from northern India wants to explore southern region, if somebody from India wants to explore Australian market, US market, they go and approach and get the information, what kind of product licenses, what kind of paper formalities are available. So it becomes easy for women to explore cross-border opportunities. So we are enabling that. And more important, Travis, investment, right? This is one area where women are struck. Immaterial of where you are, getting funded is very difficult. Not just getting funded, but women don't even have a proper project report, proper business plan. So what we are trying to do with this platform is have an investor connect where women can go talk to the investors, try to get feedback about their project, about their business. And if it is fundable, then the investor will take it up. So there is an investor connect where women can go up and register themselves. So there's a lot of various segments to it. So it's a mega event which is going to happen in India. And I'm sure I'll be very happy if you can have a couple of our CUF entrepreneurs be part of it. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely going to do that. And one of the things that just clicked in my head when you were talking about doing it in different languages, you were talking like French and English and Tamil and a couple of others. Business has its own language, doesn't it? And so exactly. that's basically the primary language that we're talking about here. And so this event is built by women for women to get them all together and to increase opportunities. So turning it back,
I would like to add something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to add something here. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, we always say women entrepreneur, right? But entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship. Business is business. It is gender. There's no gender over there. So we're just trying to see how we can bridge the gap there and bring more women onto the top, bring more women who can be successful in their businesses. And then it is all about problem solving. I always feel business is all about solving somebody's problem. And if you're able to make money, then you will be successful, right? So I don't know, across the globe, we always say about women entrepreneurs, how do we do that? But there is nobody who talks about a men entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is an entrepreneur, right? So yeah, I think there will be some day which will come very soon where we talk about just business.
Well, and I think that you're an example of that, right? I mean, you've created many businesses that have been very successful. So yeah, 100%. Business in and of itself doesn't have a gender. It serves the community in its own way. Usually it's the best way to serve the community, right? Can you walk us through a little bit of your background, because it's extremely impressive?
Oh, yes. So maybe I would like to go back the time a little bit. In fact, many say like, no, in the early 80s, it's always professions, like you have your auditors, you have your doctors, engineers. But from my childhood, I had been always wanting to do something on my own. I've been very passionate about starting something on my own. So even in 90s, I was very good with numbers, Travis. I don't know. I like solving problems. So I used to use my knowledge and take classes for children in my neighborhood. So I started my entrepreneurship journey way back in 90s, where I used to make little bit of money by taking tuitions, classes, additional classes, and that's where it all started. But I think that was all getting me ready for something bigger. So I'd been when I started my career, I was a banker. I had worked with HDFC Bank, American Express before I started my own venture in 2012. So having my experience from the corporate side, I always wanted to use our expertise and build something which is more meaningful, which is more purposeful to the society. So when we started Beta Monks, the first venture in 2012, it was more about how we can co-create products, how we can there are a lot of like startups who have brilliant ideas, but who don't have the technology expertise, right? So what we thought is we will do that. So we work on a couple of patterns. We try to see how we can co-create products with them. So we have worked with a lot of these startups, MSMEs, SMEs, in fact, a couple of governments across the globe on seeing how we can use our expertise and build their, solve their problems. That's how we got in. And last 11 years, I've taught a lot of lessons. But trust me, Travis, hardly one female founder came up for technology, right? This was a little alarming. And I had been part of a lot of these networking platforms. In fact, I'd been very fortunate to be part of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Women program. In fact, twice I've got the opportunity. And I will say the main reason for my success in entrepreneurship might be because of the networking opportunities, what Goldman Sachs gave, the learning opportunity, what I got. And I think if I'm here successful talking to you, it is not because of me alone. A lot of women have set the path. And I think it is just for me to make sure I send the escalator down and pick up the other women and show the path. And that's exactly what we are trying to do with Yuukke, and how we can empower more women to be more Senthas. And I'm sure the vision what we have taken is huge. It is not one Sentha can do it. So we're trying to see how we can bring more women who are on a similar vision. So we have global ambassadors across the globe who have joined as Yuukke's global ambassadors and who work on a similar mission on trying to empower and support other women.
Yeah, one of the things that I like about what you're doing, and I think maybe there's some overlap between what we're doing here at Cal State Fullerton, is that, I mean, it's not just about getting the message out. I mean, you're actually getting your hands dirty, helping these women build their businesses, do what Goldman Sachs did, maybe opening up some doors, opening up some markets for you. And in that way, you're kind of, you're basically a trailblazer for a lot of these women and helping them build it out. Where do you see this? I'm trying to think, I mean, this is kind of a big question, but where do you see business and women, entrepreneurship in general, 50 years down the road? I mean, do you think about that, or is it mostly, focused on the near term and the medium term, or what?
Oh, no. See, it's a long way to go, Travis. In fact, we're talking about big numbers. We're talking about, really creating an ecosystem, which doesn't happen overnight, right? So maybe if for the next 10 years down the line, I know technology has been enabler and has helped us a lot do these things. But we're not talking about, empowering women who are already have the internet, who knows how to use it. We're talking about creating a change in lives of women who are in the grassroots, right? And it goes a long way. The vision is bigger and it will take time. Maybe when you talk about the next 50 years, yes, a lot of things would have changed, but I'm sure we would have at least got them to some stage in what they want to do. Let me give you an example here, Travis. See, we're talking about women who have some wonderful business ideas, business products, but the problem is they don't know how to brand themselves. They don't know how to package themselves, right? In fact, a lot of these governments, in fact, let me give you an example of the Indian government. They have a procurement policy where they want to make sure at least 3 to 4% of the government procurements happens through, from the women, women-owned businesses. But how many women are there, right? One is, of course, getting these women together, okay, getting a directory of all the women businesses. That itself is not there, okay. In fact, the last 6-9 months, we had been trying to see how we can create a directory, a global business directory of women-owned and women-led businesses. That itself is a huge thing. A lot of organizations have started that, but somewhere we're not able to do it because a lot of things are being charged like $10, $100 to get your business registered. Not many women would have that, they would like to spend to get their business listed. So that itself is a huge thing. So getting these businesses, and then a lot of corporates right now, I think women are the center, right? Everybody talks about women entrepreneurship, supporting women entrepreneurs. So a lot of these private players also have started to recognize the importance of getting women entrepreneurs on board. So we had been working very closely with the government. We had been very closely working with the private sector also. So Yuukke will play a role of a platform, which will bridge the gap between the private sector, and also the women entrepreneurs, where it will be easy for them to reach out. And this is maybe the next 5 years we'll be able to achieve that, right? Because somewhere women needs that constant push, and all these changes will take some time, to happen, but we're not there yet. We will be there very soon.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see it here. I mean, I taught entrepreneurship, worked in it at Cal State Fullerton for about a decade, like I was telling you at our original meeting. And there was a lot of women entrepreneurs that were students there. I mean, it wasn't quite 50-50 yet, but it was probably, around 40% women. And so they're beginning to get the message, not the message, but they're beginning to get the opportunity here. And it's good to hear that. I mean, it's happening, and you're right. It's going to be slow, but it's just building on it and building on it and building on it. And then, hopefully somewhere down the road, it won't even be a question anymore, right?
So maybe to go back to the question what you asked, so maybe in 50 years is a very long period, but I think it will be like a decade by decade, slowly and steadily we will be getting there. So maybe we'll talk about right now about getting the businesses together, then enabling the opportunities, getting them funded, creating more micro entrepreneurs, right? A lot of new opportunities will be created. Right now, if you see the kind of businesses what women are into, it's more towards edtech, or lifestyle or cosmetics, or more of these kind of things. But a lot of these new avenues will open up, when we actually unlock a lot of these opportunities. And I'm sure it's going to be interesting, Travis.
Oh, it's going to be tremendous. So yeah, 100%. I mean, so in America, a lot of women entered the workforce like during World War II, right? Because a lot of the guys went off to fight the war. So yeah, I mean, and this is kind of going to be that kind of cataclysmic change, and I think for the better, right?
True. And maybe if you see, in fact, I interact with entrepreneurs across the globe. And if you see the challenges what women entrepreneurs face in Nigeria, in Africa, it's entirely different. There we're talking about some local, basic issues like power, electricity, and hygiene, menstrual hygiene. These are some of the challenges what we talk about, right? So the barriers and the challenges differ with region, differ with country, but then somewhere women trust Yuukke. Women think, yes, this is going to help us, solve some problems, and then take them to the next level. In fact, if you see a couple of ambassadors from Africa, what we have, very interesting things. They also run NGOs. They work for hospitals in night shift, and then they also contribute to the community and do something. So it's very interesting and very inspiring to see those women, and somewhere they really feel on a long run we can solve these problems, and we are there to empower them. So it's very interesting to see these kind of stories from across the globe of what women are capable of doing, Travis.
So if you only had 90 seconds to convince somebody who's watching this, maybe a woman, who's just turned 18 in New Delhi, or somebody in Topeka, Kansas, similarly, a woman who just turned 18, what would you tell them why they should join Yuukke?
Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so you have to join Yuukke because women need to see other women succeed. Okay, it is not alone. It's definitely a lonely path, but then somewhere when we join hands, a lot of things can happen, right? A change can start. A change can start only with you. And no, I decided to be the change, and I cannot do this alone. So only by joining hands, we can see the change. We can bring the change which we want to see. So if you want to empower and if you want to be the trendsetter for the upcoming generation, then you have to join Yuukke.
Yeah, there is strength in numbers, right? Because a lot of the entrepreneurs, I know quite a few, but pretty much every single one of them that I know, I mean, they've hit some serious roadblocks, personally, professionally, whatever the case may be, mentally. It's tough. It's really tough, right?
It is tough.
So Yuukke having this group together will help with that, right?
But a lot of things have changed in the last decade, Travis. In
Right.
fact, when I started, I saw very few women, maybe maybe I would be the first women in the room, right? Only women in the room. But now things are changing. A lot of women have entered entrepreneurship because of the flexibility what they get, but also because of the idea, because they want to do something. And I think when we have more of networking opportunities, more of business access opportunities, a lot of things will change, right? Women are exploring entrepreneurship like never before. And this decade is an example. This decade is a women's decade. And a lot of things can expect to happen this decade. Yes.
100%. All right. So if I think we're ending the or nearing the end here. What if you had any advice, to give to yourself, from back when you were just starting out, knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to yourself back when you were like 15, 16 years old?
Now, I would say the road to becoming an entrepreneur is not easy. I've always thought like, no, yeah, we don't know what is entrepreneurship also. We don't know what was a startup when I started, or maybe in my childhood, no, those terms were very new, or we wouldn't have heard about that. But for me, forget that you are a woman, right? So believe in yourself, listen to your inner instinct, your voice, and challenge your own assumptions is what I would have told myself. And I would have said, be the entrepreneur of your life, right? So because a lot of things have changed, maybe that confidence what I had on myself, that helped me a lot on becoming who I am right now. So I will say, be the entrepreneur of your life.
100%. You got to believe in yourself in order to make it happen. You got to have that growth mindset, right?
Just trust the process. I think you're in the right track, because I always believe on taking the road less traveled, because the view is very easy, much better. And if there is no road, create your own road. That is exactly what I believe from my career to my entrepreneurial journey. And that has helped me a lot in building my own roads.
Yeah, 100%. It's counterintuitive, right? I mean, the harder path you would think would be harder, and maybe it is in some respect, but in others, you're kind of there by yourself, pushing through, and you have a few others there with you, of course. But yeah,
especially if it's a woman, and if it's a woman and you're doing a product or a service for a woman. So it's very difficult for people to understand what you're trying to do. It will take a lot of time for people to understand this and then get this set. So that is some of the challenges what I faced when I started Yuukke. They said like, why a women business? Why are you even doing this? Because the technology, Yuukke's platform is robust, right? The technology is robust. So people were saying like, no, why do you have to do this? Why don't you make it inclusive? Why don't you divide this into maybe a career platform and then a marketplace? I'm sure you'll make your money. I said, making money is not important. This is about how we can really change the lives of women entrepreneurs, how this can add value to them. So when the vision is clear, when the vision is very clear, I think the path, you will create your own path. The destiny is very clear for us. Yes, of course, challenges were there are still there, but I'm sure we'll figure it out.
well, and I think we'll leave it at that. And I'm pretty confident that you will figure it out. I mean, you've been figuring it out for your whole career, so why should it stop now, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Travis. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Sentha.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Travis. It was lovely interacting with you. Thank you.